Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I saw that they just released Brian Laundrie's notebook, so let's go ahead and read his last lion words. And of course, that's just my opinion. Opinions are not facts, and the viewers are free to make up their own decision. I'm going to read this note. Gabby, I wish I was right at your side. I wish I could be talking to you right now. I'd be going through every memory we made, getting even more exotic for the future. But we've lost our future. I won't live without you. I've lost every day we could have spent together, every holiday. I'll never get to play with Kat and I'm not sure again. Never go hiking with TJ. I loved you more than anything. I can't bear to look at our photos to recall great times because it is why I cannot go on. When I close my eyes, I will think of laughing on the roof of the van, falling asleep to the sight of the meteor shower at the crystal geyser. I will always love you. If you were reading Gab's journal, looking at the photos from our life together, flipping through old cards, you wouldn't want to live a day without her. Knowing that every day you'll wake up without her, you wouldn't want to wake up. I'm sorry to everyone this will affect. Gabby was the love of my life. I don't know what the rest of that sentence is. If anyone knows what the rest of that sentence is, please leave it in the comment section below. He continues, I'm so very sorry to her family because I love them. I consider her younger siblings my best of friends. He's redacted something here. Could be something to do with his family because the next sentence is, I am sorry to my family. This is a shock to them as well as a terrible grief. This is what my opinion is. This note is written for other people. This isn't between him and God. This is for an audience. If you were reading Gab's journal, this is performative in my opinion, which isn't good for last words. He's still talking about his family here. Quote, they loved her as much, if not more than me. New daughter to my mother, an aunt to my nephews. Please do not make this harder for them. Okay, now, on a side note, how would he even know that this was any kind of issue? That this wasn't a domestic incident on a very small scale? Was he already very aware that they were looking for him? Because this sounds like a larger thing, like don't make this harder for them. It's almost like he already told his parents, in my opinion. Please do not make this harder for them. This occurred as an unexpected tragedy. In my opinion, this is a lie. You don't unexpectedly throttle somebody to death. Rushing back to our trying to cross the streams of Spread Creek before it got too dark to see, too cold. I hear a splash and a scream. I could hardly see. I couldn't find her for a moment. Shouted her name. I found her breathing heavily, gasping, and I can't read that, freezing cold. This part is hard to read because I believe this got wet, but I think he's talking about the blazing hot national parks in Utah. The temperature had dropped to freezing and she was soaking wet. I carried her as far as I could down the stream towards the car, stumbling, exhausted, in shock. When and I know I couldn't safely carry her. I started a fire and spooned her as close to the heat. She was so thin, had already been freezing too long. I couldn't at the time realize that I should have started a fire first, but I wanted her out of the cold, back to the car. From where I started the fire, I had no idea how far the car might be, only knew it was across the creek. When I pulled Gabby out of the water, she couldn't tell me what hurt. She had a small lump on her forehead that eventually got larger. He's redacted something. Her feet hurt, her wrist hurt, but she was freezing, shaking violently. While carrying her, she continually made sounds of pain. Laying next to her, she said little, lapsing between violent shakes, gasping in pain, begging for an end to her pain. She would fall asleep and I would shake her awake. Shake Isn't that an operative word? Shake her awake, fearing she shouldn't close her eyes if she had a concussion. She would wake in pain, start her whole painful cycle again. Honestly, guys, whole painful cycle? What a jackass. Okay. She would wake in pain, start her whole painful cycle again, while furious that I was the one waking her. She wouldn't let me try to cross the creek. Thought, like me, that the fire would go out in her sleep and she'd freeze. I don't know the extent of Gabby's injuries, plural, only that she was in extreme pain. I ended her life. I thought it was merciful, that it is what she wanted. But I see now all the mistakes I made. I panicked. I was in shock. But from the moment I decided, took away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her. Excuse me a minute, sir. Excuse me. Do you want this public that you're writing this note to believe that your fiance, in the dark, slipped in a creek and hurt herself, and you could not manage to get her into the vehicle, to the car, not that very far away, and take her to the hospital, and that she was in some kind of mortal pain and it was merciful for you to end her life like we're in some kind of old Western? Okay, you want us to believe that. All right. I rushed home to spend my time I had left with my family. I wanted to drive north and let James or TJ kill me, but I wouldn't want them to spend time in jail over my mistake, even though I'm sure they would have liked to. Oh, isn't that nice of you to take that option away from them, even though your fiance had an accident? Makes no sense to me, right? Let's continue. I'm ending my life not because of a fear of punishment, but rather because I can't stand to live another day without her. I've lost our whole future together, every moment we could have cherished. I'm sorry for everyone's loss. Please do not make life harder for my family. Harder, implying it's already hard. That tells me something here. They lost a son and a daughter. The most wonderful girl in the world, Gabby. I'm sorry. I have killed myself by this creek in the hopes that animals may tear me apart, that it may make some of her family happy. Final note, please pick up all of my things. Gabby hated people who litter. Let me just leave here the cover letter from the Teton County coroner that says, in the matter of the death of Gabrielle Venora Petito, that her cause of death was death by manual strangulation / throttling. I also believe that there was a follow-up about some kind of trauma as well. The manner was homicide. As you can probably tell, I am looking askance at his final words. I don't think he was being honest. I think it was performative. It was for an audience. It was not written between him and God or any kind of true confession, at least not in the excerpts we have here. Sounds like he's trying to explain something away. Sounds almost like he's covering. That's my opinion. I don't want to meet my maker with excuses on my tongue or in my hand, but that's just me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to make a donation, Gabby Petito's foundation is listed here. It's gabbypetito.org. So I hope you're having an excellent day. I've been working on my next series, and it's probably on the second month because it's going to be a really in-depth series. And I just wanted to pop in since we covered this case and let you know my thoughts. Please do the YouTube-y things and press like if you like this. Subscribe if you have not, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Do you think this was an honest last statement? What do you think? Leave your opinions below. And without further ado, have an excellent day. Bye.